Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome to the stars. Welcome to the world of astrology. Welcome back, guys. In this clip, I'm going to continue to write another chapter on the corona crisis, on the corona pandemic. But as things are making so sick, looking at the politics and how people react, it's getting really depressing. I chose some lighter topic for today and want to take a look at one of, also still the heartbreaking stories of these years, maybe, but still, then on another level, but still also, as this is such a typical story for this club that I'm going to talk about, because if you're a little bit into football, you know, it's Liverpool, FC Liverpool. That's not the average club. They're writing the big stories, the big sad stories, and the big happy stories, extra big letters, always. And even though these days, as they were on a home run in Premier League champion to become champion after years and years again, and now the whole season doesn't continue, and at the moment as I speak, it's April 21st. Really nothing is sure if the whole thing will cancelled altogether or whatever. Even if they are maybe declared champion, it will not be the real one, will it? Although, yes, it will be that special championship title that you can't really, of course, don't want to celebrate much, and it would just be another typical Liverpool story. And how is that, and how can does the stars show this stuff and this drama in Liverpool history? And that's what I'm going to look at, and it's quite interesting, I can say that for sure. Okay, to start off, and of course I want to take a look at Jürgen Klopp, the hero of these ages for the club. He's almost holy person already after the Champions League trophy, and of course this guy is quite a special chap, and it's deserves some victories, I guess. So I will take a look at his chart as well. So to start, I want to go back to some point that I made in other clips before, and therefore I'm going to show you this chart here for February 9th, in case you didn't hear about this. This was Sunday when the Oscars were declared in Los Angeles for this year, and that was the night when this Venus for the arts was in this tight position between Chiron and Lilith. And this was the special night when the biggest Oscars of all the Oscars for the best film of the year went to this movie called Parasite. Maybe you saw that, the black comedy thing from South Korea. And I made this point that only some weeks later we have the virus all around the world, and in simple terms it's nothing but the same as a parasite. And so I pointed to the fact that we had this Lilith-Chiron conjunction and marking the virus. And even the more, as this was not any Lilith-Chiron conjunction, but it was square to the nodes. They finally met on 4 Aries, and this was then, some weeks later than this, exactly in square to the nodal axis that is here. And as the nodes are always connected with the collective, And the position in the apex, in the square of the nodes, is this extra spotlight position. So this is big, big, big Chiron Lilith conjunction, square to the nodes, bringing the virus all around the world, on the planet, the collective. And yes, we expect Jürgen Klopp to be tied into this as well, don't we? Because he was probably caught by surprise by this, with all this. And here's his chart. This is birth chart, and with the time birth chart, this is pretty reliable. And what do we see? We have the moon on 5 Libra. So it was exactly opposing this Chiron Lilith and square to the nodes, as I said. So making a grand, forming some grand cross thing here with his moon. Only making sense. Also, just to talk about his birth chart itself, is so remarkable, it's so special with Jupiter, Venus rising in the ascendant in Leo. You may be some jealous of this. And again, this is not the ordinary Jupiter, because, check it out, it is square to the nodes. It's just the same story. We have a nodal axis here, and it's Jupiter in the ascendant, in the apex of this nodal axis. This is big stuff, big Jupiter stuff. And this is what his career is writing. His character, his personality, his motivation kind of thing, that's all here in the, around this, isn't it? Now, I could talk about long about this chart, film, but the clip video will be 2 hours then, so I won't get too much into details. And instead, I want to point out that the IC is on 10 Libra, and this is the point that's playing the main role in this clip here, because there's a special fixed star, and that's what it's all about. This star is not in this chart, but I'll show you soon. It's called Vindemiatrix. This is a star in the constellation of Virgo. You see it here. And it's up here in the arm or the wing of the angels. There's different paintings over this. And this star, Vindemiatrix, really has a bad recommendation. The story behind it, you can read this up for yourself, but it's actually, and for good reason, it was related to divorce, and even in the old days was called the widow maker. Apparently people ended or came out single, losing partners due to accidents, death, and yes, the widow maker. And this is the IC of Jürgen Klopp, and it is the ascendant of the birth chart of the club for FC Liverpool, because this was founded in March 1892. And this chart is also with a birth time, and you can trust on this. This is from a friend, and it worked perfect. And it's around this minute when the club was founded. And what do we have? We have this 10 Libra rising. This is the ascendant. And Vindemiatrix, as I said, it's about at 8 now, 8 degree Libra at those days. So it's on the ascendant here. And in fact, if you go into the history of Liverpool, I didn't believe it when I'd only read this morning. If you go back to the beginning of Liverpool, it turns out it all started with a divorce, because there was a split up with Everton, the original club, because some people in the among the directors got into trouble, and they divorced, and Everton went away, and this other guy founded a new club, and this became FC Liverpool. So it all started with a divorce. It's remarkable, and topping it all off really. And here I show you the star in the chart, and you see it here. This is 18-1, 1st of January, and we have Windy Matrix bang exactly on the ascendant. You can almost not see it here. It's exactly on this, and the chart you see here is the national chart for England. That's the modern chart for England that's usually is used. So Windy Matrix also is important for Great Britain. For example, when India got independent from Great Britain way back, it was Neptune that was exactly right here. I'm not making this up, this is all well researched stuff. And what we have today, we have the Brexit, for example, and what do we have in the stars? We have Neptune these days at 18, 19, 20 Pisces now. And again now I come to talk about Antition. Antish are the mirror points, because they always have to be checked out. They play their role. So, in case you don't know, this is axis between 0 Cancer and 0 Capricorn, and the Sun, for example, here is on 10, and the Antition, by Antition, the Sun is on 20 Sagittarius, and these days, 2020, Neptune, 20 Pisces, is on 10 Libra by Antition. And what do we have? We have the Brexit, this separation, and it all worked out with Neptune being around here. So, and it will be finished with Neptune being right on this ascendant by Antition, really. And it's also some kind of split up, of course, UK leaving the EU. And now, not that I'm getting lost here. Yes, of course, these days, and this is like a paramount picture here, and it's so incredible if you think about it. Neptune on Windy Matrix, the star of divorce, the split up star, and we have the social distancing all around the planet. Imagine you have to, if you go out with your partner, out on the street, you have to keep this distance. It's crazy. And of course, ironically, closing or like rounding this chapter up, there's this special story about this song, You Never Walk Alone, that is history already these days. That again picks up this picture of divorce and walking, not being alone, and perfectly fits these days with the slogan only the other way around, doesn't it? And there's a special story to this as well. Shall I tell this now? Otherwise things may be too complicated. The story goes, or that You Never Walk Alone became this Liverpool song back in the 50s or 60s, when people used to sing it in the stadium, and this song originally actually goes back to a musical that's called Carousel. And this musical, first time performed, was in 1945, April, at Broadway, New York. And this Carousel musical is a tragedy love story about a couple and the man dying early. And there's a daughter, and after 15 years in heaven, he comes down to earth. It's all a bit, but anyway, this song is sort of the final big song around that sums up this theater plot. And the first time this was shown on stage was with this Mars, Jupiter, on 20 Pisces Virgo, again by Antition, exactly falling on this Vindemiatrix star with Jupiter as well. So big feature here on this thing again. And even though this musical goes back to a famous theater thing that's called Lilium, and that performed first time in 99 December, and what do we have? We have Jupiter on Vindemiatrix. So I guess you get the point. It's playing this tune of this divorce story. And yes, of course, Klopp and Liverpool, of course, they fit perfect with Klopp having this IC, the home place, on Liverpool's ascendant, so to say. But it's not even only that, because again, if you check the Sun on 24 Pisces, this is on 6 Libra by Antition. And now check again with Klopp. He has the Moon on 5 Libra. So this is the marriage, perfect fit, the soul partner. You know what I mean? Sun, Moon, perfect match, love time, love life, all together. So Klopp and Liverpool is history already, of course. Now for him also everything went so perfect last year when they wake up the championship title. Uranus in the sky, transit was right here on the south-north node, square with his Jupiter, big cheering, big celebration. And now this year everything was lined up already, and what's happening, apart from what I said already here with the Moon, that's actually in a way it's minor maybe, but it's Saturn that went into station, that is going into station right on the descendant, isn't it? 2 degrees Aquarius, I think, and then return. So the stationary positions of Saturn especially, it's so important. It says full stop, and it's coming all in the way of the big parties that have been planned already. Oh dear. And again, of course, Jupiter, Neptune 20 on his IC, big disappointment, big home office kind of thing. So yes, that's what I wanted to say about this. And it's really remarkable, you can follow this Vindemiatrix image motif throughout the history of the club with its up and downs. And I give some examples here now, because as I said, Liverpool, they wrote so many stories. And for example, back in '89 there was this Hillsbury disaster with 96 people dead when stadium collapsed, sort of thing. And I haven't talked about the Liverpool chart in itself a lot actually. So let's, as I said, 1892, this was when Pluto and Neptune met, and this is pretty much exactly when this connection was exact, just some weeks before that. And we have, of course, what's so special in this chart here is this Mars that is just about got into its sign of exaltation, the red force, the red warrior thing very much, and the grief thing maybe here with the Moon, Saturn. And let's just go through some examples. As I said, this is the chart with the progressions for this Hillsborough disaster back in '89. You see here progression for '89. And what do we have? I have to check my notes. yeah, we have Saturn in transit exactly on the descendant, on the IC. It's exactly right here, bang on. And we have the moon, a progressed moon, right on the descendant, opposing, playing the tune of Matrix again, as I say. And we have Jupiter, the big glamour thing on this Pluto-Neptune exact, bringing maybe the catastrophe thing, the shock thing. And the ascendant again, but oh, well, that's not exact here. Let's leave that out. Just leave it with this. And well, the happier days were in 2005 when Liverpool won the European Cup. Back then, it was this incredible historic match against Milan after being down 3-0 at half time. And then they came back and won in penalties. This was like the mega big history story. And what is the progressions for that time? Now imagine 20 years further kind of thing, almost. And we have the sun exactly on the MC. Exactly, doesn't that make sense? Big celebration, big success. This is progressed from here to here, bang, championship title. But again, and to top this, the ascendant by progression is exactly on this Mars. Bang, big time. And yes, to round this up, to top this off, it was Jupiter that was on Matrix just in those days. Glorious times, the good times. Remarkable. Although, of course, the match was so crazy and they really had to struggle, it's really nothing writes plots like this, like football. You don't get this in Hollywood or something. This was in charge of this match that day. You see Jupiter is here and Pluto was just rising. That's a story in itself because Milan was the big favorite, but they messed it all up after being 3 goals up. And this is this Pluto story, shooting yourself in the foot kind of thing. Big story, big thing. Imagine, even Mars is here by Antition again. It falls right there, so bang bang. It's perfect. Okay, 2019 saw Liverpool winning the Champions League again. And believe it or not, there's again this image on the MC. We had the Sun in 2005, and now we have Venus being retrograde, sitting exactly on the MC when this title came back to them. So those were the days. And as I said before, Uranus in the sky was sitting right on Venus here, connecting with that Uranus and special feature as well. Okay, and now we go to the present. These days, will there be a celebration? In celebration, you can say that probably already now that there will be not much of celebration. And also the stars show similar. Let's go back one more. Last year, the moon by progression had passed over this north node thing again. That's a nice feature. The north node, the celebration point. And now, this year, the moon has further, and it's also a very particular position. I took the progression here for end of season, May 25th, the ordinary time. And what do we have? We have the moon right on this Pluto-Neptune thing. That's where this shunted Jupiter was when the Pillsbury thing happened. So Moon running into this Pluto-Neptune time changer shock kind of thing, bringing something else up for this year. And apart from this, again, to repeat myself, we have Jupiter, we have Neptune on 20, on 21 passes, and by intuition, it's right here on the ascendant. Disappointment, illness, disillusion, unexpected stuff. And we have to see what's happening. Maybe that the whole season is cancelled, or that they get declared title winner and they still won't celebrate it because it's just this special Liverpool story. Yes, I think that's what I wanted to collect here, and I hope you found that interesting. I think this is remarkable stuff, really, and should be on CNN, but well, maybe next time. So if you like this, book my channel, ring the bell there, and write some comments if you have any ideas, and I'll see you next time.